What's up, YouTube? It is your boy Trail James, and I am not going to talk very long. Uh, but this morning, I was basically asleep, and God told me to speak about to tell you all about obeying His will, and when it comes to obeying the will of God. Sometimes it's easy to obey, and sometimes it's not because of the fact that whatever it is that God is telling us that we are to do. Sometimes it makes us, feel as though that this thing is way above us. It makes us to question God and be like, God, did you really tell me to do this? Or Lord, do I really got to do this? And so it's important, y'all, that we always obey anything that God tells us to do. Um, it's not easy, no. I'm gonna be straight up with you because see, flesh it gets in the way sometimes, and see, say as if God told you to drop across the city, to minister to somebody, and sometimes if you're not up to it, you'll be ready to just stay back chilling and being comfortable. But see, anytime that God calls us to obey Him and to do what He wants us to do, God is calling us out of our comfort zone. So that's why we should never ever get comfortable in any time that God tells us to do something. Because see, our spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. When flesh get in the way, boy, it's like we just don't want to do it. But that's why every day we must put off this flesh. We must accept the will of God, because remember this, y'all. It's God's will over our will. Because see, one thing is our will. It is to never be done. Why? Because we will get but so far. So anytime that God's will is being done, and then and basically that is a shift, a change into something, and to something breaking loose. And remember this, y'all. God is omniscient. He is all knowing. He knows what's best for us, even when we think we do. God just knows everything. We, as a people, we are finite. Therefore, our wisdom, our knowledge, it is finite. It is limited. But God, wisdom and knowledge, it is infinite. God is eternal. So there is no end to God. Like God is just seriously eternal. There's no end whatsoever to God. God is forever. And so with God being a superior being, with Him being creator of heaven and earth and of all things, God is infinite in wisdom and knowledge. And so it's always important that we apply ourselves unto God's will. It's important that we carry out God's will. It takes me back to when Jonah, God told him to get up to Nineveh, and so he went up and and he was on his way to Tarshish, basically to run from doing what God told him to do. And so yes, he got thrown off the ship, the boat, of a great big fish swallowed him, and he was inside that fish, the belly of the fish, for 3 days. And so I'm very sure that Jonah, he learned from his disobedience. He learned from his mistakes. And so anytime that we choose to disobey God, there comes a price to pay. We are not to rebel against God. We are not to rebel against God's commandments. Anything that God told you to do, you have to do. And hence, also, you do not want to be a hindrance to somebody else, as far as them getting their breakthrough. Because see, if God told you to speak to them, or to prophesy into their life, to minister unto them, and you don't, therefore, their blessings can be hindered because of you. So it's very important that anytime that God tells you to do something, to follow His her commandments, it has to be carried out, because it's not our will over God's will. It's God's will over our will. And so keep that in mind. Or no matter, if you don't feel like doing it, God knows this stuff, but He is looking at our heart. If we are going to get up anyway and put off this flesh and obey Him. And so and so, just like in Proverbs chapter 14 verse 12, it says, there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof is the ways of death. So y'all, I understand sometimes we think that our plans is going to work a lot better than what God said it would, because we feel at certain times that God don't know what He's talking about. And truth is, God knows everything. As I mentioned before, God, he just knows. And so we are to never ever ever or just put our will over God's will. It's important. God has to come first. His will, it has to be carried out. And just like in Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5, or when it said, trust and the Lord with all of thine heart, and lean not unto your own understanding. So basically, trusting God with everything. Because if you lean onto your own understanding, that takes you back to Proverbs chapter 14 and 12, about when it said there is a way that seemeth right unto a man. Both of those scriptures, they connect, because see, they have something in common, and that is basically us leaning onto our own understanding. So that's why it's important that we just obey God regardless of how we feel. And so y'all, I just want to give y'all that today, and I just want to let y'all know to yield yourself, to yield your will over to God's will, because when Jesus was dying on the cross, He set a perfect example for us all. Jesus said, Father, not my will be done, but thine will be done. So 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 just allow God to allow his will to be done because he knows everything. So I love y'all and y'all take care. Bye.